Welcome to Ars Libri, an everyman's journey through Western literature, where we explore the literary arts book by book, reading, retelling, and reclaiming our rich heritage. This podcast is free, but if you're enjoying this content, please consider supporting the show by subscribing at arslibri.substack.com. This is the first episode of Ars Libri. We discuss the purpose of the podcast, who it's for, the core offerings of the podcast, why you should listen, scope and vision, core message, and more. Enjoy. We're going to talk about the podcast. This is as the first episode, and why we're doing it, what it is. It's called Ars Libri. Ars Libri, Ars means arts, and Libri means books. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I've talked to you about it for a long time. Mm-hmm. There are so many book podcasts. Well, every book podcast that I know usually stays at a very intellectual level, almost like a scholarly seminar. And the podcast Ars Politica that I have with Stephen Wolfe, Ars Politica means the political arts, and we talk about books sometimes, works of fiction, but we draw really like political theory sort of lessons from Homer or something. And it's good, it's fun, but I've envisioned having this sort of thing for everybody and going through every book of Western literature. And I've collected at this point over 450 of them. And I'm growing the list still. And I've got them alphabetized. And so I want to make a podcast where I go book by book and talk about it, do an overview of the book, story itself, and then maybe read something from it and discuss the book.
Are these children's books or?
Not all.
Okay.
No, but they are. Some of them are. They're all kinds of books. They're books for different, and what I guess we could do is have a discussion of who should read it. Okay. But I mean, most people probably know by looking at the book.
And just the title.
Yeah. I would say that most of the time, what people get wrong with the books is they think that the books are for children and they're not.
Yeah.
They think, oh, these are all children's books. Like Robin Hood, oh, that's a children's story. Mm-hmm. No, it's not. Mm-hmm. It was written in the Middle Ages and children didn't read in the Middle Ages. Right? It's not a children's story. King Arthur and his knights, it was not for children. I don't know why. This has actually got me in trouble sometimes when I was in schools, teaching in schools, that we would give books to children. Oh, like, seventh graders could read that. And we ended up reading it. We're like, oh my gosh. Like the Roman writers did not write for children. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Yeah. They were not writing for children. Mm-hmm. You give them Ovid or Horace or something, then it's going to go bad.
Yeah.
This will be a podcast that's accessible. I call it an everyman's library. These books should have been read by everybody, and I'm making a personal study of it myself. I've been doing this for a long time, and I love it. I'm enjoying it. And I've told you this, but I didn't grow up reading books. Mm-hmm. The first book I remember reading was Garfield in middle school. I told you the story? Did I tell you this? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll tell the listeners. They made us go to the library for like an hour, twice a week or something, I don't know. And I remember walking along the shelves looking at the books, and there was several books that were shorter, like 3 inches tall, and I thought, that's strange. So I grabbed them and they were long. I pulled them out and they were long. They were comic book like strips of Garfield, and so I grabbed all of them and I just sat in the corner of the library and I just laughed and laughed and laughed. That was the first book I remember reading in middle school, and the second book I remember reading was in high school. It was Romeo and Juliet. And I remember that because the language was so strange and colorful.
Yeah.
And I was dazzled that someone could talk like that. But I did not grow up reading, so to me, all of this classical education stuff is something I grabbed in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I realized what I had, it's almost like my father was a king and I was raised by a centaur out in the mountains or something.
Yeah.
And then when I turned 20 or 25 or something, someone said, hey, you're actually the son of the king, you're the prince. And I was like, what? All that's mine? Like, and you could just imagine how Jason from Jason the Argonauts or King Arthur or whoever felt, these people who were the sons of a king and they didn't know it until later.
Yeah, think of all the people who are still out there living, being raised by the centaur.
Yeah.
Like they haven't woken up to their heritage.
Yeah.
I've never thought of it that way.
That's all of you.
Yeah.
That's everybody who is a Westerner.
Wow.
A European, a descendant of the West. This stuff is for you. It's your heritage. And it's so rich. There's so much out there. It's ours. And it's not just stories. It's a way of being human. Mm-hmm. Like the elves in Lord of the Rings, they used to sit around and tell stories all the time to each other. Mm-hmm. When Frodo and they all went to that party, they went to Rivendell, and at night, part of the festival was, and it's story time now. And everybody sat around and told stories. And who was it? The main guy there, what was his name? Elrond. He's the master storyteller. That meme is funny, like, I was there 3,000 years ago. But that's because they do this, even their songs, it's like stories of the land and who they are and what they did and suffering and joy long ago. It's to remember who they are and continue and preserve it.
Yeah, I think you would have to, living that long. You know, like the elves, they live so much longer than the people, so it makes sense that it's like they retain their history through story.
Yeah, yeah. Right. You may hear some noise in the background. We have children. So our children just came in and interrupted us. They're frolicking outside. They have a big umbrella and they're underneath a tree and the storm's about to break and they're just having a grand old time. Well, anyway, so the podcast that we're doing, so the purpose of it is to explore this Western canon with you and go book by book. And it's not just the books that you'll find in all the school catalogs, the classical school catalogs. There are so many books outside of that catalog.
And there's a few on the catalog that aren't worth it.
And there's some on the catalog that shouldn't be there. Yeah, and we'll talk about that. But I want this to be entertaining. I want it to be informative. I want it to be a resource. This could be seen as a resource. Like,
right.
You could almost use this for classes, for homeschoolers. Hey, go listen to that episode of this as you read this book.
Mm-hmm. Or even if it's like parent homework, you know, even if the kid doesn't listen.
Yes, that's right.
It would give the parent an idea of what to expect.
Right. You could listen to this as sort of a way to get a grip on the book itself. Now, you can read reviews, you can watch YouTube videos of this, but honestly, I watch YouTube videos like one of the first episodes is going to be Aesop's Fables. Just Google Aesop's Fables. You'll get 50 videos, and none of them just straightforwardly tell you, here's the overview of the book, here's a nice reading from it, and here's why it's important, and you'll get everything but that. Really. Like it's like searching something on Google, like toaster ovens or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
And like the first 15 links are anything but toaster ovens. It's like defining what a toaster oven is. It's like, please just give me toaster. That's all I want. It's like that with books. I've noticed this everywhere. So I want to provide straightforward information, but also entertaining. And I think if you listen to the first episodes, you'll find what I mean. We'll start off with an overview of the book, and then maybe a reading from it, and then a discussion of our thoughts on the book and what's important in it and why you should read it. And I think that's an extremely valuable resource for people, especially, again, at the everyman level. We're not going to be trying to impress our scholarly friends or something. A lot of times, history or education books are written by professors for professors. And podcasts on classic books are done by classicists for classicists. This is for everybody. This is for my children. Mm-hmm. So I read every night to them. In the morning, I read the Bible to them. And at night, I read the Bible and a story, part of a book. Right now, we're going through Bullfinch's mythology, King Arthur and his knights. So it's aimed at everybody. and has potential for kids to benefit with their classes, or you can just use it standalone. But it's for everybody. I mean, really, like adults do this too.
Yeah, I was going to add, that's really the mark of a good book, is that
Yes.
it is, anyone can enjoy it. You know, so a lot of these books won't be just for kids or just for 5th grade or just, you know, for adults or something. A lot of them can be appreciated by kids and adults alike, even teenagers. You know, every age, it doesn't matter. That's a good story.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's good. C.S. Lewis said that. Tolkien said that. George MacDonald said that.
Right. Was it like Mark Twain who said, never give a kid a book you wouldn't enjoy?
That's good.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's
Sounds
accurate.
good. You go with it.
If that was him, but...
As the great late Mark Twain once said.
yeah.
No, that's true though.
Yeah.
There are books that people give children in schools and they haven't read the book, or the parents will send them through and not read it.
Yeah.
And if the parents aren't into it, the child's not going to be into it. I would say the same thing for everything. Like, there's so many good stories that you don't have to do that anyway.
Right.
There's so many good ones. So the focus is practical, but also relatable, and it's to support education and personal growth. I mentioned in the catalog that I have, I've made this long catalog for myself, but I've made these sorts of catalogs before. So where did I get all these books from? I worked in some schools for a while, and I worked with people in schools, and we would make long lists of books so that people could choose. So I've been doing this for a long time. I've worked in libraries as well, and I've been able to do my own original research. I have about 450 books right now listed, so that means one episode per book or thereabouts. In fact, it's probably more than that. It's maybe like 500. It's going to be a lot of episodes. Maybe not one book an episode for some of them if they're really short, but I might compile a few together. But I want to make a sort of interactive catalog of books. I don't know anybody who has done that. I know there are many catalogs. You can go online and just read a review of all these books. But people want to listen to someone talk. They want to listen to someone discuss it, especially with another person or some other guest that might come along. But I do want to provide something that people can look at and go, here's a list of all of the possible books that we can, maybe there's a few that we leave out, but a lot of books. And so the episodes will cover book by book with an overview, a short reading, a discussion and comments along the book's topics.
What we like, what we don't like.
What we like, what we don't like, what to watch out for, some of the themes. We'll try to make it boring. It's not just going to be like reading Spark Notes or something like that.
No.
You know, it's going to be an actual, from a Christian perspective, from a Western perspective. And also, I would say this, I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself now, but there are two good things that we bring here. One is we both have some professional experience teaching. And the other is we're personally invested in this ourselves. You like reading a lot. In fact, I have to tell you to stop reading like all the time.
No.
Yes. And so professional experience. You've taught before. You're teaching now. You homeschool a lot of children at different levels. I've taught before. I've taught in schools. I think you were actually raised reading a lot of this stuff, classically educated. I was not, but I studied some of this in school, and I taught at schools for a long time. I also have written and published and worked in this area professionally for a long time. We have both personal experience, like we love this stuff, we're doing it on our own, we're raising our kids in this. We also have professional experience. And then experience in the home, too, doing it personally with our children. There's a deep love of classical education, a personal engagement with the Western canon. We're raising multiple kids with this approach. We're committed to preserving our cultural heritage and civilization through, not only, but through literature and education. So I think we provide a lot of great things that people would like here. I mean, I've got almost all of these books. We own them. We've built our own library. It's a huge library. Well, it's not a huge library.
It's large for a personal.
It's large for a personal
library.
I would
these days.
like 30,000 books. I think is a large personal library. Like Thomas Jefferson, he had a large library. I have a closet full compared to him. It's actually a large room
It's a
full.
room.
A large room full. I built the bookshelves. They're really nice.
They are.
Anyway, so that's good. I think one thing is good here too, though, which is in the world of education, it's mostly women. Women do a great job at this, but there are few men who will talk to you about the Chronicles of Narnia, who will talk to children about the Chronicles of Narnia. When is your child going to hear a man talk about that? We're going to bring that. We're going to bring both. We have my wife here and myself. That's extremely valuable that fathers read to their children. I try to read to my children. In fact, I do read to my children every night.
Constantly, yeah.
Yeah, every night. And sometimes more than once a day because they bring me all kinds of stuff. And that's really important. Children will follow dad. I mean, I don't have to bring out all the statistics about how fathers lead, and if he goes to church, they all go to church. If he has faith, they have faith. I think a male voice in this world is a good thing.
Right.
And I appreciate what you have to say, because if you didn't like reading, I think it would probably have my effect on the children. But it's good to be able to talk with you about this, because sometimes you bring out stuff that I didn't see. I mean, honestly, it really is.
Well, it's funny because I think having children actually is a big part of that, because I feel like if we didn't have children, we wouldn't see a lot of the things in these books either. Because when you're reading to a child, you see it differently. You're like, wait, this book is not as good as I thought
it's a terrible
it was.
book. Or, right.
Different things like that.
Yeah, I was thinking about the movie Shrek.
Oh, gosh.
I know. Well, I'm sorry, but you know how Shrek is, it's like, oh, it's a children's movie.
No.
And then it's always innuendo for adults. And then I was thinking, that's a great analogy for books. Like, that's actually a bad analogy for books. It's a bad analogy. But it's, I mean, there's something there. Like, you could read Chronicles of Narnia to your, it's a children's book. Oh, Jack London's, it's children, like, actually, you should probably read this as an adult.
So are you trying to say that there are layers?
There's layers like an onion. Okay, listener, do you see why I'm bringing my wife into this? Okay, I hope you can judge for yourself the value here. Great. I mentioned one thing about the core offerings. I wanted to mention this also. So comprehensive book discussions. We're covering every major and minor work of Western literature. So that includes, like, you'll never see Jules Verne in a classical catalog. He should be there.
Wow.
I've never seen him in any, I could be wrong, but I've never seen him in any classical school catalog, not even the ones that are compiled just by themselves, like Mortimer Adler or Introduction to the Classics or something, book like that. He's missing. There's so many books, like the Nibelungenlied, for instance. I had to discover that book.
Right.
That is Germanic epic epic from the Middle Ages,
Right.
and it's not in any classic catalog. But more than that, we're covering books that may seem simplistic, that turn out to have profound lessons and profound tales, like that book, A Little Princess. That's going to be one of the first episodes that we'll publish. That book, I remember reading that book. I remember my kids asked me, can we read A Little Princess at night? And I was like, no, I don't want to read that to you. And then I ended up reading it, and I'm like, this book is so profound. This
Trying
is
not
like,
to cry.
Yeah, this is like Plutarch's Lives. This is like, I'm not kidding. It's profound like Plutarch's Lives. It is. She goes through ups and downs in life. She starts high, she goes low, and she keeps her chin up the whole time. Her character doesn't change. It's not stoicism, though, either. Anyway, it's a profound book. So we're going to read books and do episodes on books that may seem like childish, not just for children, but it's childish. I would just encourage you and warn you now, don't think that. Because some of these are actually really good. Some of them are dime a dozen throwaway books. We read one recently called Coal Camp Girl. I forget the names. The lady's
Lois
name.
Linsky. She's a good author.
It's a good book.
Yeah.
It is. It actually is a good book. She has another one called Strawberry Girl.
Love that one.
They're actually really good books.
Yeah.
They're really good. Are they epics? No. Were they written in the Middle Ages? No. But you should own these and read them because they're actually good.
They're
good.
American. Yeah, they tell you more about who
And they're American. They're like
yeah.
ethnic Americans, the white peoples, plural, who came here, and they were actually different from each other. And she shows that. The people in Florida they were a certain sort, and the people in the coal camps.
Yeah.
And she gets the language. I mean, it's a really good, and they go through troubles. Anyway, the scope of the podcast, it's probably going to take some years to get through it. We're going to go alphabetically. I was thinking how to do this. Should we do it with like boys' books, girls' books, adventure, or should it be 12-year-old books, 13-year-old books, 14? Nah, that's just too... And people are going to have to wait for years for me to get to their 10th grader or something. We'll go alphabetically. And we will try to do at least one, if not two a week. That may be too much, I don't know. But we'll try to do that. And just so you know, a lot of these books, I think most of them we've read already. If not all of them.
At least one of us has read it.
At least one of us has read. So we will either be reading that book as we do it, or we have read it and we're freshening up. We're not just reading you the Wikipedia page entry.
Yeah. No way.
You know what I mean? It's not just like, oh, AI, tell me the summary of the book, and I just regurgitate that.
Yeah, I don't ever want to recommend something that I haven't read.
Look, I was in schools for a while and I made that mistake.
Yeah.
Where the curriculum says the kids have to read this book and I haven't read it yet, and let's just dig in, and then I get a phone call from some parent and it's like, how are you telling me to read it? Like, I didn't know that was in there. Sorry, man. Like, your kid doesn't have to do this assignment. We're going to just watch movies and eat popcorn. We're not going to do that. These books we ourselves own and have read, and also give them to our children. I'm sitting next to my children's bookshelf, which is massive and messy, and I'm fixing books as we speak. So I have over 450 books. I'm adding to it all the time because I find another one, I discover another book. I encourage the listeners to think of this as a long-term journey of learning. And this is for parents and children, adults and the youth. Education is a transformative process. It's not just a means to finish high school or college. You're supposed to be lifelong learning. Education, basically this Western education is teaching us to be better humans, to be full, to be who we are, fully, upright. And that process never stops. It's like growing.
Yeah, to meet a stagnant human is like one of the most boring things. You know, someone who's just decided to quit learning anything. It's like you don't want to be that person's friend.
Yeah,
you know?
And that's in every trade, by the way. In every trade, if you are in anything, if you quit learning, you're just coasting now.
Yeah.
And you're no longer interesting. That's the professor who just regurgitates his old slides from 10 years ago. It's the doctor who doesn't learn anything new and just has these old tricks that he still does that maybe never worked to begin with.
Yeah. It's the housewife who learns to make conversation by complaining because she has nothing of value to add.
Ouch. Man. It's like, that's the same thing in every trade though, like with auto mechanic. If you're not learning, you're on the way out eventually because new technology is coming out every year almost, and you have to learn. You always have to be learning to be on top of your game. And so as a human being, in the realm of courage, wisdom, fortitude, endurance, in balancing all of the passions that you experience on a daily basis, you have to continually sharpen yourself. And the way you do that is through literature. It's not the only way, but it's a great way to do it. The podcast will go for several years at least, and at this rate. It's going to be free to everybody. However, if you're benefiting from this, we would appreciate it if you could support us. You can subscribe or just donate at arslibri.substack.com. With a subscription, you'll mainly be helping to support the show. But you'll also get extra episodes of books that are not included in the free show, as well as episodes on biographies. Just as important as literature for children, for young people, and for adults learning history. Like, history textbooks are so boring. They're absolutely boring. I hate them. But biographies are amazing.
Yeah.
And there are great biographies, great stories of men. Like, The Count of Monte Cristo is a great story of a man. It's amazing. But Plutarch's Lives, it's like 50 guys, and they all have lived amazing lives. And it's not fiction. It's real. So, and if we only cover fiction, then you're never getting real. I read another book recently. It's Defenders of the West by Raymond Ibrahim.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot how many guys he covers in it, but it's basically mini biographies of these men, these Christian Western men who defended the West from Islam. Amazing stories. Mm-hmm. And you're never told that growing up.
Right.
Not even in Christian or classical education schools.
Right.
You're not told this stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't want to complain. But you will read biographies of other men, but you won't read these men.
Yeah.
And so I want to provide more than just literature, but I do want to give this to people who do extra though. If you can donate or subscribe, great. Go to arslibri.substack.com and you can subscribe there. You'll get everything you're getting now, plus the bonus episodes. That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening. Join the podcast to explore the Western canon with us. Grow as a family or as an individual. Embrace education as a lifelong pursuit of virtue and wisdom. Hope to see you again in the future.